Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. For today's discussion video, we are going to go through 5 NBA super teams that could potentially be formed this upcoming offseason for the 2017-2018 NBA season. If you guys want me to do any sort of like rebuilds for these teams whatsoever here on my channel, man, I'll be sure to drop a like on this video because there's definitely some interesting ones out here, so it would definitely be fun to do some of those rebuilds. If you guys want to see that, drop a like on this video. Also, let me know in the comment section below what you think about each one of these teams, and also, like, do you think there's going to be any like potential super teams going to be forming this offseason? So without further ado, let's get it started right here. Number one on the list, we have Chris Paul to the New York Knicks with Carmelo Anthony and Kristaps Porzingis. And it says the odds of this super team forming is a 0.00001% chance. And yeah, it pretty much sums up pretty good saying that, you know, Chris Paul isn't an idiot. It's like Phil Jackson is clearly trying to run Carmelo Anthony out of New York. I mean, he's doing it like in a way too, like very like passive aggressively, saying stuff like, oh yeah, Melo, just, you know, he should probably accept trade with a contender or something like that. Like, he's trying to be a jackass about it. But at the end of the day, man, I think Phil Jackson on the New York Knicks has been an absolute L. I feel like he just doesn't really have the passion to make that team great like he once did, you know, like we did with the Lakers out there. But, really, like, Chris Paul would be a good fit for this team because it would give them a sense of control out there. But at the same time, it's like Carmelo Anthony is also a ball stopper. And I don't really know that would work with a natural point guard like Chris Paul, because Melo did play with the good point guard in Chauncey Billups earlier on in his career. And, you know, Chauncey is one of my favorite players of all time. Actually is my favorite player of all time. And I think, you know, Chris Paul is the better player at the end of the day. But also, it's like, I just don't think that Chris Paul, like, yeah, this would work, but it's not going to make this team spectacular unless they add maybe another piece. Now, if Melo left this team, and, you know, just Chris Paul joined the Knicks with Kristaps Porzingis, I think that could be interesting, assuming the Knicks could maybe sign another superstar, maybe get like a Paul George or a Jimmy Buckets. Like, then you guys got yourself a good direction you're heading in, although maybe also get rid of the triangle offense. All right, next up, we have Paul George to the Boston Celtics or the Miami Heat. It says there's about a 10% chance of this happening. So yeah, like, in this case, I think it's going to come down to, like, how because I think Paul George is going to be with the Pacers this upcoming season, but you know, they are off to a great start. That's like, all right, Paul George is gonna stick around, but at the same time, it's like if they go through to the trade deadline and they're like, you know, out of the playoff contention and all that stuff out there, then it's like, yeah, Paul George, why wouldn't you trade him? Because it means that he's not definitely going to come back to that team. And we all know that he probably mostly wants to be a Laker, but the Lakers is still like a few years off, and Paul George, I mean, it's like he's in his prime right now, so to go to like the Boston Celtics or the Miami Heat would be the optimal choice. You know, I don't think it's really, that wouldn't really be a super team in the Miami Heat, because it would be Hassan Whiteside and Paul George, which isn't a super team. That's just a good team. I mean, it's a really good team. Where, you know, if you went to the Boston Celtics, then would you even really consider that like a super team? Because for me, a super team is 3 superstars. So you would have Isaiah Thomas, Paul George, and then who else? I mean, Al Horford? I mean, listen, man, it's a good pickup, but I don't know if it's really a super team worthy like of that title. And not like, you know, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and also Chris Bosh. All right, next up we have Carmelo Anthony to the Los Angeles Clippers with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. I've been hearing that as a bitch-ass rumor for the past 3-4 years, and the shit never gets pulled off, dog. Like, I'm sick of hearing about it, man. Yeah, Melo would be the small forward that the Clippers need, and really the small forward that the Clippers have never had. Combine that with JJ Redick, and really their starting lineup, it's like, yeah, I would consider that a super team. But at the same time, man, I've been hearing this forever, man. What's the percentage of this happening? 15% chance? I mean, the Clippers want to keep their core. You know, whether Blake Griffin and Chris Paul want to stay on the team, that remains to be seen. I gotta imagine they would, because they did all that, you know, put all that effort, you know, a few seasons ago. It was like about 2 seasons ago, to stop DeAndre Jordan from going to the Dallas Mavericks. So I feel like these guys do like each other. Yeah, maybe they're not having success on the basketball court from a playoff standpoint, but a big part of that is injuries. And, you know, Melo on this team would kind of take some of the slack off of, you know, the scoring of, like, Blake Griffin, so he wouldn't have to play as hard. And I think it would mesh well together. But is it going to happen? I've been hearing about it for freaking years, guys. For years. All right, next up we have Chris Paul to the San Antonio Spurs with Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge. This I would consider a super team. And oh my god, do I love this, guys. I absolutely would love this addition. Not just from the sense that Chris Paul is a great point guard. You know, Kawhi Leonard is also a top 5 player in the NBA. LaMarcus Aldridge, really, I think LaMarcus was best on the Blazers, but he still has done some pretty brilliant things for the San Antonio Spurs sometimes. Like, he kind of has his days. But, man, I would love to see the smartness of Chris Paul combined with just the coaching of Greg Popovich. I mean, I feel like he would have Chris Paul playing on an MVP caliber level, and you know, Tony Parker is still on that team though, so it's like, well, do they get rid of Tony Parker, or they maybe use Tony Parker off the bench? How would Tony Parker feel about that? I mean, it's been his team, but at the same time, Tony Parker's what, going to be 36 next year, so it just came off a serious injury. Yes, I would absolutely love this trade. This is probably my favorite one so far, just because it makes sense, and I think it gives Chris Paul the best, most realistic chance right now to win an NBA championship ring. Our next up right here, we have Dwayne Wade to the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. See, this is something that we've definitely heard about for a while now. When we all know that last season when Dwayne Wade was looking to go to a different team, of course, we all know he ended up going to the Chicago Bulls. Everyone was thinking, it's like, yo, LeBron helped Wade win some rings in Miami, which Wade's already done by himself anyway. What was Shaq in 2008? Or was it 2006? I don't remember. But now it's like, why can't Wade go to Cleveland and help them win some rings? I would be a fan of that. I mean, just from a fan of basketball, I would just like that a lot. You know, I feel like J.R. Smith and Kyle Korver do pretty good at the two guard. They can shoot quite a bit better than Dwayne Wade, in my opinion, from the three. Although Dwayne Wade did pretty good at the Chicago Bulls from three ball, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this would just be like a fun addition to the team, because it's kind of like it's the new big three. Instead of, you know, got Kevin Love instead of Chris Bosh, and you got Kyrie Irving out there too, which their best point guard on the big three was Mario Chalmers, who did fine in that position, but yo, he ain't no Kyrie Irving, man. So the percentage of this happening is a 5% chance. I'm not sure Cleveland fans would absolutely love this. Wade's already gone on the record to say he doesn't really need to ring chase, but it doesn't mean he's not going to, right? He's like, I don't need to do it. I could do it. So I don't know, man. I would personally love this trade right here, though, if this happened, or signing, whatever it would be. And, all right, guys, that's all of them right there. That's all of them. So, yeah, as far as super teams go, there's some pretty interesting choices right here. I mean, a few I don't really agree with, a few that I disagree, you know, or that I do agree with, of course. But, at the end of the day, I'm thinking the optimal super team would be that Dwayne Wade, Kawhi Leonard, bitch-ass Durant, Russell Westbrook. Also, we need Albert Einstein up in this bitch to invent a time machine to bring back Michael Jordan and Bill Russell. Also, Wilt Chamberlain. And, did I say Kobe Bryant? Also bring back Kobe Bryant, you know, put him in his prime too, and put them all on my Detroit Pistons. And I think that would probably be the best route for the NBA. I feel like if that were to happen, just the ratings would be sky high. So, why doesn't somebody find a way to bring Albert Einstein, at least use his brain, you know, like use his mind and bring him back from the dead or something like that, and get that done for me, please. And if you do, I'll give you a shout out on my channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to drop that like and subscription if you are new. Peace out, my friends.